You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews Primetime.
Good evening and welcome to koolNews Prime Time. I am Cairo. One of the suspects in the killing of broadcaster Percy Lapid Mabasa died after he shot himself during the service of his arrest warrant in Lipa City, Patangas early Sunday morning, according to the police. National Capital Region Police Office Chief Major General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. identified the suspect as alias Orly, who reportedly helped gunman Joel Escorial plan the attack against Lapid. He did not surrender and held his life-in partner and his child hostage. The negotiation lasted until about 4 a.m. during which he called the barangay captain and his relatives, Nartates said in Filipino during an interview with DCWB. Nartates added the negotiations between the barangay captain and Oli's cousin resulted in the release of his life-in partner and child. However, shortly after he released his hostages, Orly shot himself in front of the negotiators, Nartates said. Lapid was the second journalist killed under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., according to the National Union of Journalists of the Philippines. Reports said he was gunned down by motorcycle riding assailants on October 3, 2022, along Arias Street in Barangay Village, Talodos, Las Piñas City. In May this year, Escorial was sentenced to a maximum of 16 years in prison. Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. has lauded President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for increasing the salaries and benefits of civilian government employees. I laud the President for keeping his word. He fulfilled his promise during his SONA to raise the salaries and increase the benefits for our government employees. He knows the sacrifices of our hard-working government employees. That's why he worked to be able to give it immediately. According to Executive Order 64, the salary adjustment shall apply to all civilian government personnel in the executive, legislative, judicial branches, constitutional commission, and other constitutional offices, government-owned or controlled corporations not covered under the Republic Act 10149, and Executive Order 150 since 2021, and local government employees regardless of appointment status, whether regular, contractual, or casual, appointive, or elective, and on a full-time or part-time basis. They shall also receive an annual medical allowance amounting to not more than 7,000 pesos beginning fiscal year 2025 as a subsidy for their health maintenance organization benefit. The EO 64 shall be implemented in 4 tranches beginning January 1, 2024 for the first tranche, January 1, 2025 for the second tranche, January 1, 2026 for the third tranche, and January 1, 2027 for the fourth and final tranche. The implementation of the first tranche shall be retroactively applied. As the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation, I am very happy with the order issued by the President. The civil servants are the backbone of government service. Without them, we can achieve nothing. They deserve a salary increase as it is a way of thinking and appreciating their services and sacrifices for our nation. Revilla said. Last year, we filed a bill on salary standardization 6 to raise the salaries of our government workers. We coordinated with the Department of Budget and Management regarding this. But we are very happy now that it is no less than the President who has authorized this long-anticipated hike in the salaries of government employees. Thank you so much, President Bongbong Marcos. Salute to government employees. The crime rate in the Mimaropa region dropped 63.64% during the first week of August compared to the same period last year. Data from the Regional Investigation and Detection Management Division of the Police Regional Office 24B showed 52 reported crimes from August 1 to 7, lower than 143 during the same period last year. Mimaropa is comprised of the provinces of Oriental and Occidental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, and Palawan. The campaign against wanted individuals netted 68, including 20 most wanted persons in the regional, provincial, and municipal levels. Also arrested were 19 drug suspects, while confiscated were approximately 54.62 grams of shabu, worth an estimated 371,000 pesos. 371,388 pesos. The operations against illegal logging recorded a total of 180 board feet of confiscated logs with an estimated value of 9,000 pesos. 15 were arrested in 4 anti-illegal gambling operations. All arrested suspects and recovered evidence were brought to police stations for further investigation, documentation, and proper disposition. Our House of Representatives resolution is urging the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, to implement another round of 30% increase in all its benefit packages and coverage. House Resolution number 9100, followed by Agri Party List Representative Robert Lee, seeks to determine how PhilHealth can expeditiously increase the current benefits and introduce new benefit packages such as the inclusion of vital diagnosis tests and other essential laboratory exams as outpatient service. PhilHealth shall serve as the national healthcare provider and not as an investment powerhouse. It is mandated and obligated to utilize most of the funds to increase the program's benefits and decrease the amount of members' contributions, Lee said in a media release. For the best interest of the beneficiaries and contributors, he emphasized the need to increase all benefit packages and coverage of PhilHealth to ultimately lower the out-of-pocket costs of Filipinos for their healthcare needs. Lee also said that he sent a letter to PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. on Thursday, urging the state insurer to implement the increase. He cited PhilHealth's availability of substantial funds and the transfer of 89.9 billion pesos in excess savings to the National Treasury, proving that it is more than able to expand its benefit packages and can even introduce new benefits to cover more of the actual hospitalization costs. To recall, Lee fervently pushed for the 30% across the board increase in PhilHealth benefits implemented on February 14. Instead of taking funds from PhilHealth, just get them from GOCCs which are not related to social services and have other excess funds from their investments and profits, Lee said. He lamented that PET or positron emission tomography and computed tomography scans and MRI or magnetic resonance imaging are not PhilHealth covered services. And the wife of the police officer who was killed during a rescue operation for kidnapped victims in Pampanga said a policeman shot her husband. According to police reports, members of the Philippine National Police anti-kidnapping group were conducting a rescue operation for 2 abducted Chinese nationals on August 3 in Angeles City when the shooting ensued. Staff Sergeant Nelson Santiago was hit and later pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital, while Police Chief Master Sergeant Eden Aceden was wounded. It was painful for my family after we learned that he was shot by his fellow policeman because he loved his job, Santiago's wife Mary Rose said in an interview with DZBB. When asked if her information came from the police, Mary Rose said no, adding that her family and relatives conducted their information gathering on the case. On August 5, I learned about a hocus pocus related to my husband's death that they don't want to publicized, she explained. Citing her husband's death certificate, Mary Rose said Santiago sustained one gunshot wound on the left side of his body, coming from an M16 rifle's bullet. She asked the Philippine National Police (PNP) for justice for her husband's death. Inquirer.net sought the side of the PNP, but it has yet to reply as of posting time. PNP spokesperson Colonel Juan Forjado said in a press briefing last Friday that they are investigating whether Santiago's death is a case of friendly fire. Being hit with friendly fire means the bullet came from one side and not the enemy. If we prove that this is a case of friendly fire, then the person behind this will be liable for it. That's the commitment of our PNP chief regardless of who killed Santiago, Forjado said. Earlier, PNP Chief General Romel Marbel honored the police officers involved in the rescue operation. Marbel awarded Santiago the Medalya ng Kadakilangan for his bravery and dedication. The PNP also extended financial assistance to Santiago's bereaved family. It is now 9:12 in the evening, and Cool News Prime Time will be right back. Again, 9:12 in the evening.
Feeling good while you work. Cool FM.
Welcome back to koolNews Primetime. Let's get into the headlines from around the world. The UK government said on Sunday schools in England could teach children how to spot extremists and online content spreading to interpret conspiracy theories under planned changes to the national curriculum. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson said she was launching a review of the curriculum in primary and secondary schools to introduce critical thinking across multiple subjects. It follows recent disorder in more than a dozen English towns and cities following the Sword Park knife attack, which officials say were fueled by misinformation online and far-right agitators. The stabbing spree, allegedly carried out by British-born exile Ruda Kubana, who was aged 17 at the time, left 3 children dead. Police have not disclosed a suspected motive for the attack, but said it is not being treated as terrorism. Online speculation in the immediate aftermath of the tragedy falsely claimed Ruda Kubana was a Muslim immigrant. It's more important than ever that we give young people the knowledge and skills to be able to challenge what they see online, Phillipson told the Sunday Telegraph newspaper. That's why our curriculum review will develop plans to embed critical skills and lessons to arm our children against the disinformation, fake news, and portrait conspiracy theories awash on social media. Under the envisaged changes, students will analyze newspaper articles in English lessons to help spot fabricated clickbait, while computer classes would include analyzing tactics in content or statics. However, the review is not set to report its findings and recommendations until next year, meaning reforms would not come into force until the school year starting in September 2025, according to the Telegraph. The moves are said to be combined with tougher regulation of social media sites and online content, with Prime Minister Keir Starmer suggesting imminent action on Friday. Russia's army appeared to acknowledge Sunday that Ukraine units had driven deep into the country, saying it had hit troops and equipment around 30 kilometers or 20 miles from the border. Kiev launched a surprise border incursion last Tuesday, shocking Russia, which has sent in additional reserves, tanks, drones, artillery, and aviation to try to squish the offensive. The defense ministry in Moscow said Sunday that its troops had fought attempts by enemy mobile troops with armored vehicles to break through deep into Russian territory. But in an apparent sign of how far some Ukraine units have managed to advance, it said it had hit enemy units near the villages of Tolpino and Obchusky Kolobdes, which are around 25 kilometers and 30 kilometers from the Russian-Ukraine border. A senior Ukraine official told AFP that thousands of its troops had been deployed to the operation. Russia's army said Sunday it had continued to use aviation, drones, and artillery to try to put down the attack. It also said it had fought an attempt by Ukraine to break into another border district of the Kursk region, further to the south from where the bulk of the fighting has occurred so far. At 19, Israeli man Yoni has to put aside his plans to join the military and instead enter rehab for drug abuse that has worsened since Hamas' October 7 attack. Health professionals said Yoni's case is not an exception in wartime Israel, noting a surge in drug and alcohol abuse as well as other addictive behaviors. Yoni, who asked to use a pistolium to protect his privacy, told AFP he had started taking drugs recreationally before, but after the war, it seemed to really get worse. It's just a way to escape from reality, this whole thing, said the resident of Beersheba in southern Israel who lost a friend near Beiser in the Hamas attack that sparked the ongoing Gaza war. Chris Chris Sholevran, founder of the Israel Center on Addiction, said that as a natural reaction to emotional stress and as a search for relief, we have seen a spectacular rise in the consumption of various addictive substances. A study carried out by his team, based in the central city of Nataya, found a connection between indirect exposure to the October 7 events and an increase in addictive substance consumption of about 25%. The run told AFP they have identified a rise in the use of prescription drugs, illegal drugs, alcohol, or addictive behavior like gambling. 1 in 4 Israelis have increased their addictive substance use, according to the study, which was conducted in November and December on a representative sample of 1,000 Israelis. In 2022, before the war, 1 in 7 struggled with drug addiction. Contacted by AFP, the Palestinian Authority said there was no equivalent data on addiction and mental health for the Palestinian territories. The study found that the closer individuals were to the trauma on October 7, the higher the risk of addictive behaviors. The Israel Center on Addiction study found an increase in addictive substance consumption among survivors of the October 7 attack, but also among Israelis displaced since then from communities near the Gaza border or in the north near Lebanon. Some who had never consumed addictive substance started using cannabis, some used substance but increased their use, and some were already treated for addiction and relapse, said Labran. Lavrab said Israel was already at the outset of the epidemic, in which large swatches of the population will develop an addiction to substance. The study found that the use of sleeping pills and painkillers has also skyrocketed by 180% and 70% respectively. The physical artist gave the example of one of his patients, a man who demanded something to help him cope and be able to sleep while his son was fighting in Gaza. At the bar in Jerusalem, Matan, a soldier deployed to the Palestinian territory who gave only his first day for privacy concerns, told AFP that using drugs helps forget the harsh reality. Yoni said that in the early months of the war, his friends and him would take party drugs like ST, MDMA, LSD recreationally in order not to be bored and not to be afraid. Then Yoni started taking drugs alone at home, which he said eventually led him to realize that I need to go to rehab. Once out, he wants to complete his military service, Yoni said, to prove to the family that I am indeed capable of more and can contribute to the community like everyone else. Since we're running out of time, we will be quick with showbiz happenings. For former Vice President Lenny Robredo, and So It Begins, which revisits the 2022 national elections, goes beyond recalling the country's elections and her presidential campaign. It amplifies the message that change can happen no matter which place one comes from. The Ramona Diaz documentary is a continuation of her 2022 piece, A Thousand Cuts, which centered around Nobel laureate and Rappler CEO Maria Ressa under former President Rodrigo Duterte. Featuring 800 hours worth of footage, it premiered at the 2024 Sundance Film Festival in January. While one of the documentary scenes touched on Roberto addressing her loss at the elections, she believes that it also serves as a reminder to the youth to focus on available spaces where it allows them to make change happen. And that is it for koolNews Primetime tonight. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And join us again tomorrow for more news headlines at 12 noon with koolNews at noon. And effective tomorrow, you'll be hearing the DWPM simulcast in the mornings of Kool FM. Until then, I am Cairo, and we hope you have a pleasant night and stay safe. Good night.